What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Kicking it back to some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Masterful content. Today I have another deck list that I'm going to be premiering to you guys. And if you guys actually watched my last video and saw my comment on that video, I did mention that my next deck list was going to be Bujin. Well, I thought the same thing too. And then I found this card, and I had to do it. Welcome to a Penguin deck list. And it's ironic because Penguin Soldier is actually one of my favorite cards from OG Yu-Gi-Oh! So when I saw that they made basically an entire archetype around penguins, honestly, I had to do it just for the fun. And that's exactly what it is. It's a very fun deck. I enjoyed it a ton. Is it meta? Is it a groundbreaking, insane deck? No, not by any means. But it's a lot of fun. And I sat down and came up with something that I really think pushes the Penguin deck to its limits without treading into like Crystron Hacky Firebrax, where it's a synchro deck with penguins in it. This is a penguin deck. So without further ado, let's get into it. Top left, bottom right. Let's start off with Puny Penguin. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard after being flipped up, target one penguin monster in your graveyard, except for Puny Penguin. Special summon that target in face up attack position or face down defense position. This is a nice little tech card. Compared to the other cards in the deck, honestly, he's not as useful, but like when you use Puny Penguin and you get it to pop, it's pretty nice, honestly, because he's also a solid target for like links and stuff. Like I do need to add more. I'm not entirely sure what else to play in the forms of links, and I don't want to go crazy without straying away from Penguin, but I do have some links considering that this is a level 1. We have Link Haribo, Link Relinquished, and all that stuff. So, a nice card, nice tech card. Add it to 1 to help refuel your field and stuff like that. Get off your effects. Now everyone knows this guy, Penguin Soldier. Flip effect, you could target up to 2 monsters on the field and return those targets to the hand. You can target himself. You might not want to do that when we get to our next card. But you can target himself to kind of just bring him back and just keep setting him over and over. That is a strategy. Or you're just going to target 2 monsters on their field and get them gone and bye-bye. Because of the help of this next card, Maxi. No Penguin! During either player's turn, when an effect of a penguin monster is activated, special summon this card from your graveyard. You can only use this effect of No Penguin once per turn. If a card would be returned from the field to the hand by the effect of a penguin card, banish it instead. This card is amazing. It sets up almost everything in the deck because he can special summon himself whenever any penguin goes off. He's right there. He's your primary graveyard target for any discard. Get him into the graveyard as soon as you possibly can. That way, when any of your effects kick off, you're going to be bringing him right on back. And the ability to banish anything instead of putting it back into your hand is incredible because this is a free to banish effect right here. You know, obviously you're gonna need to have your field set up a little bit, but No Penguin really is really one of the win cons of this deck. Like he's what really gives this deck its outs that it has against some decks. Because it's not destroying, it's not negating any, they're not affected by it getting destroyed because it's just sending it back to the hand, which would send it to the graveyard instead. Amazing card. We play this thing at 3. Next up is Glacial Beast Polar Penguin. This is one of our tuners. We play this at 2. If this card is special summon, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls and return it to the hand. If this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target 1 card your opponent controls and return it to the hand. You can only use Glacial Beast Polar Penguin effect once per turn and only once that turn. So you got to choose which one you want to use. Great card. Nice to tech in. We do have means of special summoning our penguins out to get shit gone. Go bye-bye. So it's a nice card. Next up, we have a bunch of tech in at 1s. We have 1 Penguin Ninja. Flip. It's basically the Spell and Trap version of Penguin Soldier. You return 2 Spell and Traps to their hand. But he also has a second effect. You can target 1 penguin you control, change it to face down defense position. You can only use this effect of Penguin Ninja once per turn. Pretty nice. I like taking this card in at a 1. It's a great target. Also, since it's another level 3, we get access to some level 3 plays, which I need to add into the deck. Next up is Penguin Cleric. If a penguin monster is sent from your monster zone to your graveyard by an opponent's card. Even during the damage step, you can target one of them, discard this card, and if you do special summon that monster in face down defense position, you can only use this effect once per turn. Once per turn, you can target one penguin monster you control. It gains 600 attack and until the end of the turn, and you gain 600 life points. Nice tech in a 1. Comes in clutch when you need them. A good boost in attack to try and help, since most of our cards are a little lackluster in the attack department besides our Penguin Brave. Now, there's a nice little archetype that I found. It's called Ice Jade. So we have Ice Jade Acti. If this card is normal summon or special summon, you can send one water monster from your hand to the graveyard. Draw one card. If a face-up water monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card to special summon one Ice Jade monster from your hand or graveyard, except Acti. You can only use each effect once per turn. This engine actually really helps because they do a lot of discarding to get special summons off, and that we have some great targets for that, like no Penguin. So not only does this help give a little bit of an engine, it also helps fuel our main decks, our main focus's actual engine as well. We play this one at 2. Next up, we play Ice Jade Tinola. You can send one card from your hand to the graveyard, then target one water monster in your graveyard and send this card from the field to the graveyard, and if you do special summon the targeted monster. This is any monster, any water monster that's in the grave. This is a nice card. If face-up water monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect while this card is in your graveyard, banish it, special summon one Ice Jade except for Tinola, and you can only use each effect once per turn. Very nice card. I take this one in a 1 because I feel like the other ones are just a little bit more important, but this is very helpful on getting out certain cards, and we have means of searching these things with a spell that we'll get to later. Next up, the Great Emperor Penguin. You contribute this card to special summon 2 penguin monsters from your deck, except for the Great Emperor Penguin. This is your main engine. Weirdly enough, yes, this level 5 right here is your main engine. We have plenty of ways of getting this guy out in the field, but being able to just special summon 2 penguin monsters from your deck is pretty solid. Everyone's going to ash this thing. I hate it. Next up, we play Ice Jade Tremora. This is the better of the 3. You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, special summon one water monster from your hand. If a face-up water monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect while this card is in your graveyard, this is the same effect as the other 2 have. This guy is pretty much just good for just the additional special summon, and he works from the hand, so you don't even need to bother getting him out in the field. Very nice card. We play this at 3. And now the boy of the deck, besides Penguin Soldier, Penguin Squire. Cannot be used as synchro material except for the synchro of a water monster. If a monster is set on your field, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can reduce its level by 1 or 2. You can then you can target one face down defense position monster you control, change it to face up defense position, and if you do, its effects are negated unless it is a penguin monster. You can only use each effect of Penguin Squire once per turn. This card is phenomenal. It's essentially a free special summon just by setting something out into the field, and you can adjust its level to exactly what you need for any of your synchros, like Penguin Brave. We have White Aura Whale. We have some other cards in here that really benefit off of Penguin Squire being able to just adjust its level to what you need at that given moment. And not only that, being able to just, before you even synchro summon, to allow yourself to synchro summon, so you set a monster, you play Penguin Squire, you adjust the level to what you need, you use Penguin Squire's effect to flip up the face down defense position monster, use that Penguin's effect, and then you have a Penguin that's there face up on the field so you could synchro, get him away, Penguin Brave comes out, you're going to be going into Penguin Brave. That's the point of the deck. Penguin Brave is going to go off, and this card right here is what really makes the deck shine. Although Great Emperor Penguin is your engine, this is the card that kind of pushes you forward. This is one of the cards that helps set up your field. Very amazing card. Now we're on to these spells and traps. We play Salvage. 2 Salvage, target 2 water monsters with 1500 or less attack in your graveyard and add those targets to your hand. That is every card that we have besides Penguin Squire. So, unfortunately, we can't grab Penguin Squire, but we could grab literally everything else, and we're good from there. Next up, we play 2 Moray of Greed. Shuffle 2 water monsters from your hand into the deck, and draw 3 cards. I've not drawn this thing yet in my testing of the deck, but honestly, it is a nice card to have, especially trying to find something that you need very specific at the moment. Next, we play Fury of Karyushin. Add 1 Torrential Tribute from your deck to your hand. If a water monster you control would be destroyed by card effect, you could banish this card from your graveyard. Instead, you can only use each effect once per turn. We kind of only play this card for the second effect, just because we don't really want our board to get outed all that easily, so we needed something as a little bit of a backup. Torrential Tribute is nice to have, sure, and you can use this card's effect to protect your field from Torrential Tribute, but you have this here just to ward off your opponent's effects and things like that, like from popping your units off your field. It's a nice card. We played it at 2. Now we play 2 Ice Jade Cradle. Add 1 Ice Jade monster from your deck to your hand with a different card name from the ones that you control or in your graveyard. Again, a search engine for our Ice Jades. And next we take in the 1 Penguin Sword. Equip only to a penguin monster. It gains 800 attack, and when the equipped monster inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can return 1 card your opponent controls to the hand. If a face-up card your opponent controls leaves the field by a penguin's card effect and returns to the hand or is banished, negate the activated effects and effects on the field of the cards with that original name until the end of the next turn. You can only use this effect of Penguin Sword once per turn. This card's wording is very rough, but basically what it means is if you return a card to the hand and it either goes back to the hand or gets banished, you can turn off any activated effects of the card that you return, any card with that name. So if they have multiple cards in the field, maybe they themselves have 2 Penguin Soldiers, you return the Penguin Soldiers to their hand. The other Penguin Soldier on the field is not going to be able to activate its effects. It's a very nice card. Taking it in at 1, and it helps increase our power so we can do some stuff. Next up, we play 3 Royal Penguin's Garden. When this card is activated, you can add 1 Penguin card from your deck to your hand, except Royal Penguin's Garden. Once per turn during the main phase, you can decrease the level of 1 Penguin monster in your hand or face up field by 1 until the end of this turn. Then discard 1 card. You can only activate 1 Royal Penguin's Garden once per turn. This card is amazing because you have lots of level 5s that you could really use this effect for to get them out in the field without maybe you don't have a good special maybe you don't have anything and you need to get Penguin Swire out in the field, or you need to get Great Emperor Penguin out in the field. You decrease the level by 1, bam, here they come. You can get a normal summon. Very good card, and it allows you to get some penguins back in your hand. It's very nice. Play this at 3. 2 Torrential Tributes. When a monster is summoned, destroy all monsters on the field. Nice and simple. And then we play the 2 Infinite Impermanence just to give us a little bit extra oomph with the negation and stuff like that. Now we're going to move on to the extra deck. And you've been hearing me say I need to add things to the extra deck here and there throughout the video. Truth be told, you can run this extra deck however the hell you want. There's really no set way of running the extra deck. I built this deck to specifically only play Penguin Brave, and I put some backups into the deck that might come into fruition in the future. So, just like Link Haribo or Relinquished Anima, Salomon Great, Almirage, these are all great targets for everything in the deck. I added them in just because they have ease of access with the deck and all that. The main meat of the extra deck, and the only card I'm going to read off here, is Penguin Brave. Your opponent cannot target face-down defense position monsters you control with card effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Penguin Brave once per turn. If this card is synchro summoned, you can special summon 1 penguin monster from your deck in face-down defense position. When your opponent activates a monster effect, this is a quick effect, you can flip 1 face-down defense position water monster you control face up. This card is amazing as it helps you get your stuff going. It helps you get your Penguin Soldiers, just in case you need your Penguin Soldier. You need to get rid of some monsters, and it helps you get your Penguin Ninja, just in case you need to get rid of some spells and traps. This helps you get your Great Emperor Penguin. This helps you get Glacial Beast Polar Penguin. It helps you get basically whatever you need. And then if you have no Penguin in the graveyard, it combos right off, and then you just set something onto the field that could possibly pop 2 cards and banish 2 cards. Penguin Brave is what this deck is built around, and truthfully, it's really the only thing that I ever really summon in my games. like I said, this is a Penguin built deck, and I wanted to push the archetype to its limits and figure out what I could do with just the Penguin archetype with a little bit of a different engine sprinkled in for some fun. And that was kind of the goal of this deck. Like I said, you guys can you can incorporate anything into the extra deck, and I even have some examples. I'm not going to read off the cards, but I'm just going to read off some examples that maybe you guys can use in your own decks. TG Wonder Magician, White Aura Whale, of course, totally awesome if you can get this thing out into the field. Oh boy. Bahamut Shark, Link Karibo, Relinquished Anima, and then Solomon Great Almirage. Like I said, I'm not going to bother reading off these cards because you guys could just make this however the hell you want. If you want to take the Christian Hacky 5-Rax route, by all means, go for it. The card should be banned, but while it's not banned, abuse it while you can. This is how I'm choosing to run the deck. I want to make it centered around the Penguins as best as possible. And that is that. There we go. That is my Penguin deck with a little bit of Ice Shade sprinkled in. Let me know what you guys think of the deck. Do you think this is something that you would want to build? I know it's goofy, it's funny, and that's right up my alley, but is this something that you guys would see yourself playing in the future? And let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. See you.